Well, hello everyone. Since you all requested that I record a video regarding how to draw forms that belong to different crystal systems, you showing steps that can be followed to draw those forms and something that is simple. So I will break this into two videos. In the first part, I will cover only the isometric system because this is where you find the most complex to draw forms. And then I will move on to other crystal systems in the next video. Also important to note is that in the exam you don't have to draw each and every form. So I will draw only the important ones and you can draw those and that should be enough. So the first system or in this video that I'm going to cover is the isometric system. Okay, so it's the isometric system. Let me just write it down here, a little thicker. Okay, so the easiest form to draw here is a cube. Now the technical name for cube is hexahedron. Means a form with 6 faces. So how to draw this form? This is very easy. I think most of you can draw it even without me telling you the steps. So you draw a square here and then little bit behind it you draw another square. Maybe if you want you can go dotted behind it. They should both be the same and then just join the corners. Okay, now in terms of Miller indices, I think I should have made that one also dotted. Okay, so in terms of Miller indices, not of a single face but family of faces is 1 0 0. Okay, the second form that you can draw, okay, within this crystal system again is dodecahedron. Okay, so deca means 10 plus 2, so it has 2 plus 10 equals to 12 faces in total. So here you have to draw each face. Each face in this case is a pentagon. Let me move everything little up to use the whole slide space. Okay, so dodecahedron drawing, what you have to do is you have to draw a pentagon, sort of a pentagon like this, and then maybe go out a little bit like this, and then the face like this. Okay, so you have a pentagon. Maybe my pentagon is a little bit elongated on one side. You can extend it a little bit like this one here and here. So draw a nice pentagon. Okay, once you have this pentagon, on these corners just draw some outward lines like that, and you have to draw other pentagons there. Okay, so this form is again not that difficult to draw if you can draw a decent pentagon, and then you have to draw those pentagons there. They don't have to look like regular with equal sides because you're viewing from the side, so there's a little bit of a perspective over here. So this becomes a dodecahedron. This is of 1 1 0 type. Okay, the third form that you can draw is actually you can draw from this cube itself. So this cube that you have over here, all you have to do is split each face into 4. So once you have drawn a cube, okay, you don't even need the whole thing. What you should do is maybe you can draw it in as a dotted line, okay, or draw a very thin line as a first step, just so that you have something to start with. So you see, you draw a cube I know it is very light. It is kind of like I'm tracing it because I will need to replace it later on. So you also with pencil draw a light cube. Okay. So cube, as you know, you already know how to draw a cube. Once you have a cube, you start filling it with details. Now the shape we are drawing, as I said, I didn't write the shape here, but we are going to draw hexa. Okay. Tetrahexahedron. So hexa we have already drawn. Tetrahexahedron. So let me move this down. So tetra means 4, hexa means 6. So it has in total 24 faces. And it is not exactly same. So dodecahedron is not 2 into 10. This is kind of just like one exception you have to remember. It is 2 plus 10 equals to 12 faces. In all other cases, we will use a multiple sign. So tetrahexahedron, 4 into 6, 24 faces. Hexahedron we have already drawn. It is simply a cube. So what this becomes over here now is a cube with each face divided into 4. So what you have to do is, for example, you have a face here. So this face will be divided into 4 faces, which are kind of like coming out. This is further divided into 4 faces. This is divided into 4 faces. And similarly, this face is divided into 4 faces. All the faces are basically divided into 4 faces. You don't need to draw the ones that are behind. Okay, that kind of like becomes understood. And there can be sometimes multiple ways of drawing these diagrams. Sometimes people can draw those on the behind if they want, but I think this should be enough for you to get marks in the exam. This becomes tetrahexahedron. Okay. It is of HK0 type. HK0 means the intercept here and here are different. Okay, if you write 110, it means intercept on A and B axis are same, on another axis it is different. I'm saying A and B, but when you write the family of faces, it simply means 2 of the intercepts are different, another one is 0. Okay. So easy to draw tetrahedron. If you directly see this form, it may be difficult to draw in exam. But if you follow the steps, it should not be that difficult. The next one that we are going to do is trioctahedron, or like even before we go to that, let's simply draw an octahedron. Octahedron, as the name suggests, will have 8 faces, not corners. Okay, corners are 6 only in octahedron, but it will have 8 faces. So how you have to draw is, you kind of like draw a square base, but because you're viewing it from the side, it will appear a little bit shorter and higher. So kind of like this. So draw it like quite elongated at the start, and then you simply have to join these faces like this. So this one is behind. In reality, there is one behind, but this is joining this over here, and then this is joining that. So this becomes an octahedron. It has 8 faces in total. You can count them. You can see here 4 on the front side and 4 are behind, which are not shown over here. If you want, you can draw some of those lines as dotted, especially this one and this one, because they are hidden, they are not visible. Okay, so easy octahedron. So related to this form, you can have what is called a trioctahedron. So it should be easy to draw. Another one, this is, for example, cube we saw was 100 type. Here intercepts on all 3 axes are same, so it is 111 type. So it is not parallel, the no face is parallel to a given axis. So your axes are kind of coming through the faces. Kind of like that. Sorry, I didn't draw it correct. Should be like that. Okay, so you have those A, B and C axis. Because if initially I drew it like this, then it becomes parallel to one of the axis. So this will be like this. Now if you take this shape, okay, and divide each face into 3 faces, what will it become? It will become what is called a trioctahedron. Okay, it is of HHK type. It simply means intercept on 2 axes are equal, but on the 3rd axis it is unequal. So you start with an octahedron. I had already drawn an octahedron in the previous image, so I'll just take its copy. And now what you have to do is each face of this octahedron. So you already have an octahedron over here. So it is 3 times 8. Okay, so 3 times 8 becomes equal to 24 faces in total. You can even mention this in your answer, that how many faces it has, and then divide each face into 3. Kind of like this. So each face is divided into 3. It becomes a trioctahedron. And the forms in isometric system, some of them might be quite difficult. Now there is a general form. I'll go through the last one also. It is called a hexoctahedron. Okay, hexoctahedron. So as the name suggests, there is an already octahedron over here. It has 6 faces into 8, 48 faces. This is also called the general form. The word general form means intercept on 3 axes, A, B and C axes are different. So you cannot write 1, 1, 1 or 0, 0, 1, anything. It is HKL type. HKL simply means the intercepts on the 3 axes are different. Now drawing it can be a little challenging. It's kind of like this octahedron. We divided each face into 3 faces. So it became a trioctahedron. Instead of 3 faces, you divide it into 6 faces. It will become a hexoctahedron. And all you have to do is this line that you see over here, for example, this line that is coming like this, you have to just extend it further. Extend this line further, extend this line further. So it will start to get 6 faces for each of those 8 faces. So what I'm saying is, so you had this figure. So in the previous figure, for dividing into 3 faces, for each face we went like this. Now you have to go all the way like this. Okay, so now you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each face is divided into 6 faces. The only challenge here is where it is intersecting this face over here. This line will have some bend in it. It will not be a straight line. So it will be like this. There will be a bend in it. So that is what you have to do. That is the only challenging part for this question. So it is best to initially kind of like draw an octahedron that is a little light. Okay, so draw an octahedron that is a little light, so that later on you can erase it. And you don't have to be exact, as I said in these. A little bit of rough diagram should be enough. So this is what we had drawn for an octahedron, and of course we had those lines in the background. that were kind of hidden. Okay, so now what you have to do is, so this line that you see, for example, you see this line, you see this line, each of those lines you have to divide into two parts. So create a little bit of a bend like this. And if you draw any of those background tracing lines, you can draw them lightly and leave them as it is in your exam also, because everyone understands that you cannot just draw a hexoctahedron simply. And I'll tell you, like 90% of the students will not even draw complex forms. They will draw cube, maybe octahedron, but these will be skipped by many students. Now in this one, this line is facing you, so you will not really see the bend. It is front view. This line will also have a bend, but you are not seeing that in the view. Okay, now all you have to do is join a corner here of this triangle with the base of this triangle, but go across to join this corner over here. So join a line like this. Similarly, in the previous case, we just went from the corner to the center. Now you keep going all the way like this, and similarly from here all the way here like this. So as I said, like this will have a slide, but maybe if you want, you can show it like this. Okay, and similarly you have to do it for each of those. Okay, so in this triangle, try to join this over here, that one over there, and this one over here like that. Okay, similarly you have to do for the lower faces as well. Should really come over here. Okay, sorry, so this one, for example, over here, and this one, they will not join. This one will join with that one. Okay, and this one will join with this corner. Similarly on the other side, I think I didn't draw it correct. So this corner. Okay, it will join to that bend over there. So some of these like might be actually behind. That is why sometimes you may find some trouble in these, but kind of like imagine if this was the corner, it would have joined like this. So you have to continue those over there. So this line will go and join over this one. So I didn't draw that one correct. Okay, and just keep in mind the triangle that is behind. So this one was going like this to join that one. So that is what will happen even now. We'll go join that one. Okay, and this triangle was joining this one, so this will join over here. So it becomes a little bit complicated, but overall that's it. It is a hard figure to draw, but now examiner can see like you have tried to draw. It belongs to isometric system, looks roughly symmetric in all directions. So that should be good enough. So each face of this octahedron is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. Okay, and that is what you have to do in the exam. Again, as I said, you don't have to be exact. Even if you could draw just an octahedron, what we had over here, and even if you draw simply that you are dividing each face into 8 faces. Okay, if you find difficult to draw this one, even if you can show simply like this, each face is divided into 8 faces. Sorry, each face is divided into 6 faces. That should also do the job. Okay, again, if you cannot draw those with bends. Like this. Okay, so it kind of like serves the purpose to show what is happening over here. So these are important forms of the isometric system. In the next class, next lecture, we will go through forms of other crystal systems.